Learning objectives. After completing this module, learners will be able to define and understand struggles for equality in India. Describe and understand the ways in which these struggles happened and the government in India implemented the various laws, etc., for equality in India. List and know about the Tawa Matsya Sangh that fought for displaced fish workers in Madhya Pradesh. Struggles for Equality. Introduction. The Indian Constitution recognizes all Indians as equal before the law. It further states that no person can be discriminated against because of their religion, sex, caste, or whether they are rich or poor. While all adults in India have the equal right to vote, that is the power over the ballot box, to elect or replace their representatives, this equality does not seem to extend to people's lives. One prime reason why so many peoples live in India are highly unequal is of poverty and the lack of resources. Religion is another reason for discrimination. People are treated unequally on basis of caste too. Sex or gender is another significant factor for people being discriminated. Because of combined factors of poverty, social discrimination, and the lack of good quality school facilities, most often girls of Dalit, Muslim, and Adivasi communities drop out of school. Several people have fought battles or struggles to overcome inequality issues and highlight the need for equality or justice across all sections of the society. There are many such struggles, such as those among beedi workers, fisher folk, agricultural workers, slum dwellers, etc. When dams are built or forest areas declared sanctuaries for animals, thousands of people are displaced. Whole villages get destroyed and people get displaced, having lost their roots and need to build new homes, start new lives elsewhere. Most of these people are poor. In urban areas too, because of development bastis get removed, and the poor people living there are often relocated to areas outside the city. Their lives, including work and the children's schooling, is severely disrupted as these locations are very distant from the city. The Tawa Matsya Sangh. By forming cooperatives or collectives, displaced people seek to get justice and control of some resources. The Tawa Matsya Sangh, TMS, in Madhya Pradesh is one such example of people coming together to fight for an issue. The organization mainly fights for the rights of displaced people. It is formed by a cooperative of fish workers of the displaced forest dwellers of the Satpura region of MP. The Tawa River flows from the Mahadeo Hills of Chindwara district through Betul and joins the Narmada in Hoshangabad. The Tawa Dam began to be built in 1958 and was completed in 1978. It submerged large tracts of forest and agricultural land. The forest dwellers had no livelihood left. They began protests in 1994 against the contractors who got the land. This movement of the displaced forest and fish workers slowly gained momentum with the formation of the Tawa Matsya Sangh. In 1997, the MP government finally gave the fishing rights of the reservoir of the dam built on the river Tawa to the fish workers. With the TMS taking over, the fish workers set up a cooperative which would buy the catch from them at a fair price. The cooperative would then arrange to transport and sell this in markets where they would get a good price. The fish workers have now begun to earn 3 times more than earlier. The TMS has also begun giving the fish workers loans for repair, the buying of new nets and preserving of fish in the reservoir. The TMS has shown that when people's organizations get their rights to livelihood, they can be good managers. The fish workers in the TMS hope that they will get equal provisions of the Constitution one day by continually participating in this movement. They refer to the Constitution as a living document, that is, something that has real meaning in our lives. Creative expressions for equality. In a democracy, communities and individuals strive to expand the ambit of democracy and push for a greater recognition of equality on existing as well as new issues. The Indian Constitution supports and recognizes the equality of all persons. Movements and struggles for equality in India continually refer to the Indian Constitution to assert equality and justice for all. Issues posing a challenge to this idea of equality in a democracy are thus of economic and social concern. These include the privatization of health services, the increasing control that business houses exert on the media, the low value given to women and their work, and the low earnings made by small farmers who grow cotton, etc. Poor and marginalized communities suffer more on these issues. This is the core of the struggle for equality in a democracy. The dignity and self-respect of each person and their community can only be realized if they have adequate resources to support and nurture their families and if they are not discriminated against. While some join protest movements to fight inequality, others might use their pen or their voice or their ability to dance to draw attention to issues of inequality. Writers, singers, dancers and artists have also been very active in the fight against inequality. Poems, plays, songs and stories often inspire us to believe strongly in an issue and influence our efforts to continue the fight. The foundation of all movements for justice and the inspiration for all the poetry and songs on equality is the recognition that all people are equal. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. In a democracy like India, communities and individuals strive to expand the ambit of democracy and push for a greater recognition of equality on existing as well as new issues. Movements and struggles for equality in India continually refer to the Indian Constitution to assert equality and justice for all. Issues posing a challenge to this idea of equality in a democracy are thus of economic and social concern. Poor and marginalized communities suffer more on these issues. Sometimes, by forming cooperatives or collectives, displaced people seek to get justice and control of some resources. The Tava Matsya Sangh, TMS, in Madhya Pradesh is one such example of people coming together to fight for an issue. While